very first guest, okay? She is a former sixth grade math and social studies teacher. She hails from Rochester, New York, and has an amazing story that includes being a part of the network marketing industry and then quitting. And now she's here at Modere, and she's also out of the school system, raising toddlers. Oh, my gosh. Erin, are you with me, my friend? Erin Heberger, to the front of the line, please.
Oh, sorry. It said unmuted, and then I was still muted, and here I am. It told me I was
here
unmuted.
Here she is. Okay. I'm so excited to connect with you and for me to finally stop talking, because I'm like, man, I got to zip it. But I had so much to say, and I can't wait for the rest of the crew to get to hear your story, Erin, and how let me just set the scene a little bit here. You guys, Erin is Platinum 3, Director 2. So remember when at the beginning of the call I was talking about you can make money on the customer side, or you can build a team, or or whichever, or both. She's doing both. So Platinum 3 is $9,000 in personal sales on the customer side, which she's making 36% of that, and then Director 2 is $25,000 in team volume. So that's just remarkable and incredible, Erin, and I can't wait for you to share a little bit about, of course, who you are, kind of your start with the network marketing, and that you quit it, and that story, and then we'll continue on. I know you're a content strategy coach too, so I know you've got a lot of nuggets to share with that too. So you take it from here, my friend.
Yes, and I'm laughing at everything you said, because I'm like, oh my gosh, we might be the same person. Like, our start stories were kind of similar. I'm also a fast talker. Warning, I'm going to try and slow myself down, but I kind of have a lot I want to say. So, got to stick to my, 15 minutes. So here we go. Okay, so a little bit about me. Yes, I am a wife. I have a 3-year-old, 3.5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Actually said 3.5-year-old is downstairs screaming about something, but my husband's down there, so it's all good. Mommy's hiding in her office. I have 2 crazy doggies, and yes, I was a 6th grade teacher for 15 years, and then just this past March, I officially made my second maternity leave permanent. So that was like a huge goal of mine, and it happened. So yeah, a little bit about my story. So kind of similar to you, actually, Mindy. Let's rewind about 6.5 years ago now, so it's circa 2017. I was spending more than I was making in my second company in a row. And January of 2017, my accountant, who was my dad's best friend also, actually was like, just wondering, are you planning on turning a profit with this company? Like, yeah, that's not embarrassing at all. So I was like, yeah, definitely. But I was like, I don't know, am I? So May 1st of 2017, I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm a teacher. Like, clearly this online business, this online sales stuff just isn't for me. I tried it for years and, no. So I told my upline, like, I appreciate your time, but I'm all set here. So I was done for 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks later, again, very similar to you, I saw a video on Facebook that somebody I knew of from my previous company, but I didn't know her at the time. Well, you may have heard of her, Marina Simone. Yes. So she did a video saying that she was making a change, and she was, going to a new company and whatnot. And so I was curious. I was like, wait, if she's, like, going to a new company, like, this has got to be something big. Like, what's happening here? So I did the only logical thing, and I stalked. And I figured out where she was going, what she was doing. I stalked the company. I was intrigued because, number one, I saw that there was this liquid collagen, and I'll talk about my joints, my old lady joints in a second. But I was like, okay, something that's actually helping people's joints. And then I was also super intrigued by the Clean Living company, or the Clean Living products. So I was like, because I'm a psycho, I literally, before I joined, I made a list of all the things that I normally buy, like at Target or Wegmans or whatever. And then I wrote down the products I could possibly get from my potential new company. And I price matched or price compared all the things. I'm a psycho. Can we tell I'm a little green? But and I was blown away because I was also sick of stalking labels, trying to make sure and I didn't even have kids at this time. But I was trying to make sure I wasn't, putting all these nasty chemicals in my body, at least as much as I could. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to have to read labels. The prices are the same. I guess I'll give it a whirl. And Marina, if you're listening, I don't know if I actually ever told you this, but I had actually originally planned to do this just through the summer while I was off of school. Yeah, 6.5 years later, here I am. So it's just crazy. Like, if I think back of how much my story has changed in these 6.5 years, like, I have gotten obviously so much more than, income from this company, but like just the community, like the people I've met, the leadership skills that I've learned, like all the things. But it's also funded 2 infertility journeys for me. I get teary just thinking about this, because if anybody has been through infertility, on top of all of like the emotional toll it takes on you, it's flipping expensive. It enabled me to take an extended maternity leave with Ella, my first baby. And then, as I had said, I recently took a 2-year maternity leave with my second, and it's now permanent. So I'm just so grateful most of the time to be home with my 2 toddlers. So it's been so much. Like, I never even could have dreamed when I first started that, like, this is where it would be. And fun fact, one of the other selling points to me was how Mindy talked about that you don't have to work both sides of the compensation plan, because I wanted no part of having a team when I came over here. I was like, I love that I can just like get customers, because I'm like good with that. And then I accidentally started forming a team because people were like, wait, so what is it you're doing now? So again, 6.5 years later, a lot has changed. But so that's a little bit of my kind of how I arrived here story.
That's incredible. I want to point that out too, Erin. I want to just park on that for just a minute. For those of you that, like, just like you said, Erin, what happens, some of you are like, team building, I tried it. I tried to build a team. Nobody would do anything. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like, and you needed to build a team in those old compensation plans. You had to, or otherwise, like you, Erin, and like me too, you weren't making money. You were only spending money, and you were only part of somebody's, your upline's auto ship, right? Like it's a whole thing we could get into at a later time. But you guys know, for those of you listening, and you're like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know you know. Here's the thing. What happens is when people start seeing, like, Erin's posting, maybe a little bit about her product and or about this or that, and all of a sudden she's ranking up, and then she's ranking up again, and people are like, what are you doing? How are you doing that? And she's building her customer pod, and she's helping customers and so forth. All of a sudden, those people are drawn in, and they're like, well, I want to be able to make a commission helping customers. And ta-da, you're building a team. I mean, it's quite incredible how these, those of you that are really focused on building that customer pod naturally will start building a team. And again, the cool part about it is that really, I mean, building customer pods is awesome and stuff, but when you're teaching other people how to do the same thing, that's where the real magic happens. John Rockefeller, I love this quote, and I know John Melton says it often. I'd rather have 1% of 100 men's effort than 100% of one. And so when it comes to team building, that's it. Like, everybody's doing a little. You know what I mean? You've got a lot of people doing a little bit, and all of a sudden that legacy money starts flowing. So, Erin, I know throughout your journey too, you've really focused on, content strategy. And as we're building on social media, which to me seems like such a forever moving target, I know that you figured out some great strategy and stuff. And if you want to talk on or kind of give your best tips, especially as we're going into a new month, what
absolutely.
You guys can focus on with their content, social media. I know you're an expert at that, so you go ahead and give them your best nuggets.
Absolutely. Yeah, content just, it makes my heart so happy, because part of it is like I see people in other companies, and I'm just so grateful also, by the side note, that like Modere encourages us to brand ourselves. Modere encourages us to share our story. Like, that was another thing that really bothered me from some of the other companies I had been in, is like I felt like I couldn't be me. Like, one of my companies, I felt like if I was having an ice cream cone, because it was like a super green, like whatever company, I was like couldn't even share it. So I just love that we're totally encouraged to share our own story and share our own selves and build our own brands here. So that's something else that I'm very grateful with the company. But as far as what content to focus on, especially getting into the holidays, like obviously December is insane in the membrane for everybody's personal lives. Like, whatever holidays you celebrate, there's a lot of them in December. So, the biggest thing to focus on ever really is making connections sharing stories and providing value for your audience, because that's where it's at. Like, you are not needing to be a walking billboard just spitting out facts all the time. That's not what people are on social media for, is to, like, be these fact digesters. Like, they want to hear stories. They want to get to know you. They want to see pictures of your cute puppies and your cute kids and all the things. So, yes, of course, we want people to know we're in business. Like, sometimes it's like you go one extreme or the other. So I usually recommend, like, once, maybe twice a week, share something about your business. Maybe it's a curiosity post. And if you're like, what's a curiosity post? There are tons of them in the team groups, whatever team group that you're in. There's lots of examples, whether it's a spoon post or, I always encourage people to take a selfie of yourself taking, with your spoon if you're taking trim or BioCell, or whatever, your go-to product is, because that's so much better than just posting, like, a picture of the product. Like, people want to know, like, you're really taking products and you're a product of your product, but also they want to see your face. So they say selfie sell. It's true. Story sell, selfie sell. Because you want to just show people you're a real human. You're not just some, like, brand rep spewing information, like I said. So really focusing on sharing those stories rather than facts. Like, share it. So my target audience is moms of young kids like myself. So if you ever look at my social media, you'll see anytime that I do a product post, I'll share somebody else's story, but 99% of the time I'm sharing another mom's story, because that's the people that I'm talking to. And any of our products can be targeted toward really any niche, any target audience, any ideal client, whatever it is. So wherever you're at in that journey of finding out who your target audience is, kind of think of yourself. But those are the stories you want to be sharing. And then your other content should be, a mix of personal posts. You want your audience to get to know you. So share, if you're open to sharing your kids, or you're able to share your, you with your grandkids, or you doing things that you love, your hobbies. Like, that's what people want to get to know you, and that's how you're going to build connections with people. So that's something that's important. And I'm not saying, like, you need to go and share all, like, your dirty laundry or whatever on Facebook. Like, that is not what I'm saying. But people do want to get to know you. And then giving value, like I talked about. So creating educational posts that are going to help, again, your target audience. So I also encourage people to share tips on the benefits of our products. So, for example, 3 tips to avoid holiday weight gain, or 3 foods that improve joint health. Because anybody who's watching that kind of content, engaging with that kind of content, probably is going to be interested in our products. So those are the conversations that happen on the back end when you're reaching out to the people who are engaging with that type of content. And then you can slip in, after you've gone back and forth of, like, oh my gosh, wait, do you have joint issues too? Yeah. My now husband used to call me his 90-year-old girlfriend because I was so young with such joint issues. Have I ever told you about this collagen that has been the only thing ever that has helped me? Like, you're helping people. And if you have the mindset in these conversations that you're trying to help people with what you have, you're not just trying to sell products, number one, they feel that. And number two, like, the universe feels that. And everything just comes out better. So that's the type of content to really be focusing on, is, like, giving that value. And then it doesn't all need to be value or that has anything to do with products. Like, giving value that is going to be helpful to your target audience. And obviously everybody's is a little bit different. And I'm not getting into, like, all that today, but definitely just focusing on the value. Because if you're giving people this free value all the time, then when you are putting out that curiosity post, they're going to be like, okay, so she's been helping me a lot. Like, she solved this problem for me. We're professional problem solvers, really. She's helped me with this. She's done this, and all for free. Like, what is this product she has, or what is this business she has? So just kind of, like, keeping that in your mind when you're creating your weekly content. And then in your stories. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I thought it was me. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. keep talking, Erin. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Last thing, I just want, that's perfect. I just want to talk about stories, like being in your stories all the time, taking your products. Every single day, you should be in your stories taking your products. Like, And you don't even have to talk about them every day because, again, you don't want your stories to become like a spam fest by any means. But for example, I'm real pumped about this promo coming up because I am addicted to both Go and Logic. Did I mention I have 2 toddlers? So I literally every single day in my stories, I make my Logic. I'm just making my coffee every day. Sometimes I do talk about it. Like I'll be like, oh, I haven't even talked about this goodness in a while, and I'll just like say why I love it. Say that I actually notice when my mom brain forgets to have it on my subscription and I have to go without it for a few days. Like I notice a difference. I share why I love it. I take my BioCell in my stories. So once a day, and you can change up what products you're taking in there, but once a day you should 100% every day be taking your products in your stories. Again, sometimes talk about it, sometimes be talking about other things. Like I'll be making my Go or my Logic or whatever, and I'll be talking about like toddler craziness. And then people are like, what is that you're making every day? Or what is that on that spoon that you're taking every day? Like it never fails. Or sprinkle. You want to really throw people off? Show yourself, like sprinkle your trebiotic when you're talking, and people are like, okay, what is that? I'm telling you. But bottom line, be you, be authentic, and give value with your content. Okay, now I'm really done.
Great. All of you listening, you guys, if you guys are in the chat, I'm telling you, just start dropping the mics everywhere. I mean, this call is, Erin, all of what you shared was so incredibly good, and here's what I love about it. It's a whole lot simpler, I think, than some of us make it. I mean, the fact that, you are talking to toddler moms because you're a toddler mom. There's a relational thing that happens, boom, right off the bat. And people do business with people they can relate to, that they know, that they like, that they trust, and you're building all of that in your social media through all of what you just said. I mean, that was just so much value. Thank you so much. We could keep talking, but we gotta keep going. I just love and appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you, my friend. And you enjoy the weekend with those cute little cuties.
I will. I'm so honored to even be on this call. So thank you for that. And yeah, have an awesome rest of your day, guys.
Yeah, thanks, my friend. All right, guys. Next